Hi everyone, I'm back with one of our Success with Craig coaching modules, and I want to discuss with you today the importance of understanding that the quality of our life really does lie within the quality of our relationships. And I want to give you some just really simple points of focus of the art of communication, which is what will help you develop strong, lifelong relationships. You know, for me as a young child and as I grew up through my teens, I've always had this enjoyment of listening to others and learning from other people. I remember it seemed strange back then, but when I look back, it was my childlike wonder about people and personalities and people's skills and abilities. And I used to like listening to people read. I used to like watching people draw in art class, and I love listening to people's adventures and what they've achieved in life. And still to this day, I find myself as a soul of wanting to soak up people's adventures and be inspired by what people have done and what they want to do. And I just find it really fascinating, and I find people fascinating. And I think if you want to build quality relationships, it starts with being fascinated about others. It's that simple philosophy of people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So it's about genuinely wanting to discover about people. And I think, you know, we are connected to people through common interest. I mean, that's quite common. We tend to attract people like ourselves into our life, and I'm a real big believer of the law of attraction, and I'll discuss that with you on a later coaching module. But some real key things to build quality, lifelong relationships with people that you connect with. And the first thing is understanding when you're there, be there. You know, I think social media and technology of today can really distract us, and you know, hands up, I can be one of the worst, because I'm always, you know, focused on contributing and running my businesses and contributing socially. You can sometimes forget to be where you are and enjoy the moment with the people that you're with, whether that's your family, whether that's your friends, whether you're out for a meal. You know, I love the philosophy, and I really need to learn from this myself, of putting your mobile phone in the table and the first one to pick it up pays the bill. But look, when you're there, be there. You know, be fascinated about other people. Be fascinated about discovering about people's days. Be fascinated about discovering about their dreams and their ambitions, because the number one thing that we like to speak about is ourselves. And I think if you can, you know, be there and have that skill of listening. You know, my mum always used to say to me, and I'm not sure if I've got it in proportion yet, but son, you've got two ears and one mouth for a reason. And I think, you know, if you can, you know, ask the right questions, and I've taught my girls this recently and they've blown me away, and I'll tell you about that in a moment. But we connect with people through interest, and it's about discovery. And I think discovering about other people, you know, when you have a new connection on a new friend, you know, when I meet someone for the first time, I want to know about them, you know, and this may be, you know, we might go on a lifelong relationship, it might just be pure friendship, it might be a business relationship, it might be a coaching relationship, but it's something that I want to discover about people, because, you know, you never know where that connection may take you. And I think we're connected mind, body and soul, but it's also good to discover about people, you know, their ambitions. And the number one thing we like to hear about is our name. So you know, when you're talking to people, always use people's name. Always show an interest by asking the right questions, you know, genuine questions, because you want to know the answer, because you've got this childlike wonder of people. And I tell you now, if you haven't got it, find it. You know, and life is about habits, and again, we'll probably talk about habits at a later date, but whatever we've been conditioned to do, we do out of habit. Most things we do, our daily activities, are done through habit. And that your habit might not be having a fascination with other people and discovering more about them. It might not be the core of your personality. But I tell you what, it is absolutely fantastic. Friendships, close friends, acquaintances, discovering more about people really does help you live a fulfilled life, I tell you. So having a fascination, about relationships, connecting through interest and connecting through opening them and asking open-ended questions. And, you know, I taught my girls this recently. We were driving somewhere, we were traveling around Spain, and this is the great thing about having entrepreneurial freedom and being your own boss, you know, being able to do what you want with the people you love. And this is what this coaching program's about creating. But we were driving around Spain, and we were on some journey somewhere, traveling to see something, and I started talking to Isabella in the front, and how she can influence her outcome by asking open-ended questions and using the words like when, what, where, how and why. You know, them open-ended questions where people, you know, have to answer in a certain manner. So you can influence your conversations through asking the right questions, through having a genuine interest, but using open-ended questions. But also, I taught them how to use multiple choice. So, you know, when you want a certain outcome, you can influence that through, you know, for example, if you were in a business environment, I guess, if you was, you know, looking to book an appointment or book an interview or maybe book a podcast show, or maybe whatever it may be, you were looking to book some kind of appointment, you know, you could offer multiple choice where you would say, you know, Thursday at 5 or 6 o'clock, because you're really giving people multiple choice, where rather than saying, look, when are you free, it's easier to give people a choice. You know, have you ever been into a restaurant where you go into a restaurant and the choice is too big? You're like looking and you really don't want to know what to have because the menu is just rammed with choices. You know, less is more. And I think, you know, you can use multiple choice in a similar format. Again, a little tangent. So I taught my girls this, and Alana was, you know, listening in the back. You know, Alana's 5 at the moment, Isabella's 9, and they were listening to me and soaking it up. And before I knew it, they were using open-ended questions. Within minutes, they were using open-ended questions and giving me a multiple choice on what time they could have ice cream or not. And I just found that fascinating, how you can influence, you know, and socially condition your children to be the best that they can be. But it starts with I, and it ends in us, and I'll talk to you about that refined appreciation at a later date. So look, the quality of our life really does lie within the quality of our relationships. Few core things: when you're there, be there, listening for success, genuine questions, connect through interest, use open-ended questions. And I tell you, one of the biggies with relationships for me is constant eye contact, showing a real interest in and looking at people, you know, and when you're there, being there. Okay, so look, have an absolutely fantastic day. I hope this show has given you an insight into some really basics of the art of communication and building quality, lifelong relationships through fascination in other people. Because this show is really about raising your beliefs, raising your expectations, and importantly, growing your belief in the possibilities that lie within you, around you, and before you. Have an amazing day.